Very pleasant, good after Monday noon. Right. Welcome to the CHGO Bears Podcast, brought to you on a very sort of odd Monday, if you will. A lot of news.
Why is it odd?
There's a lot of news swirling around this city that we're going to maybe touch on tomorrow as far as my football team on the college level that I root for. And I thought just a phenomenal interview and big-time statements from Darnell Mooney with Caitlin Sharkey over at WGN.
Great job.
Caitlin was in
Friend
studio with
show.
us. Last friend of the show was in here last week, so shout out to Caitlin. Great job. And you, Greg Braggs, raising the bar on some perhaps Bears records to be broken in 2023, Mr. Optimistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got into it on After Dark last week, you know, and with our guy Lester Wilfong from Windy City Gridiron, saying the potential of maybe the passing record might not be there, but the touchdown record might be in sights. Then it got me thinking, what are some of the other records out there offensively for the Bears? And I think there's some that can be attainable this year.
I mean, what else would you rather talk about on a Monday, July 10th? Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
Nick is still on the DL. I know everybody's we got a big softball game tonight. And
He's got the Hampton finger now. If you've ever met Dan Hampton, his fingers all point in different directions, and he's now got the Hampton pinky special.
It's still facing in the right direction. When it happened, it was facing the wrong direction. But, I don't know where the splint's at, to be completely honest.
You're not doing a good job at taking care of yourself, and this probably shows up in other areas of your life. And if you want to schedule a session with me after the show, I'm willing to sit down with you on the couch, and we can talk about ways in which
gives you a competitive advantage on the ping pong table.
He did beat me last time.
I don't really need a competitive advantage, but let's talk big. All right, so here we're going to get to some of the records here and some of the numbers and set some goals here as we plan a big Bears season in a second. But so Darnell Mooney sitting down with Caitlin Sharkey. I don't know if people have seen this interview, but there's a couple highlights that I want to just run through here. Number one, I mean, of most concern is that he says that his ankle is fine. He's good to go. But listening to him talk about it, it feels like he's saying it
quick with it too.
Yeah, and it still leaves a little bit of doubt in your mind that he actually is okay, even though he has been out there working out with Justin and Claypool and whatnot. So, I mean, first and foremost, it seems like he's at least getting close to being 100%.
Yeah, when Caitlin asked Darnell about, will he be full go by training camp, and you kind of alluded to there, right there, Mark. He said he's been out there with Justin and the guys, so it will be the same thing in terms of kind of going out there, being, running routes on the field and just getting acclimated with everybody. But the hope is that he can be healthy enough to go for training camp and just be full go, because I was rewatching some tape of Darnell Mooney earlier today, and he changes what the Bears can do with the speed on the field, just stretching the defense vertically. The Bears need that, and he's obviously a guy that Justin trusts, and Darnell trusts him as well.
There is no way the Bears are going to be successful in 2023 the way they want to be successful, the way Mooney is talking about being successful, unless Darnell Mooney is Darnell Mooney in my mind. There is not enough depth at that position, and maybe Chase Claypool will be a whole lot better, but they need the full moon. The full moon's got to be out.
To mentor Tyler Scott, at the very least, because maybe Tyler Scott, I'm not going to say replaces him, because, it's yet to be determined if Tyler Scott can ever get 1,200 receiving yards in a season, but that's a really good mentor because they have comparable styles of games. At least it looks, on its surface. I'm excited to see it at camp.
Well, and that dude, Tank, my dude, Mooney looks yoked. That part is actually interesting because he's quote-unquote yoked, because he couldn't run.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and he
he's-
said that in the interview.
Yeah,
he goes, well, I haven't been able to work on my legs as much, so
Right.
working on my upper body, and he definitely has. So good on him to find something to do.
So let's read between the Mooney lines just a little bit. He was not allowed to run.
Right.
That is a significant injury. I mean, he got injured in November. It is July. He has spent a good portion of his offseason not running and getting his Arnold Schwarzenegger on. So, and he looks great. I mean, dude shows up at the beach. He's gonna turn a lot of heads, but it's just interesting that he's gotten that big because he hasn't been able to work out the way he normally would work out in an offseason.
Well, it didn't just happen overnight. Like getting that big, he works. He had
Right.
to work at it, right? So obviously he wasn't able to run initially.
And you know this, Nick.
I would
you
know
go to-
because I'm still trying it, and that pisses me off seeing Darnell Mooney the size that he is, and I feel like I've been doing workouts forever. I'm still the same freaking size. So I felt a little.
You can get
jealous.
real mad when I pass you up, Nick.
Yes, see, it's just not cool.
Don't lift up that shirt.
I won't for now. Next year, though, I'm going to do this show with my shirt off. Next year, guys.
But right, it takes time to do
does
that,
take time.
and all the proper nutrition and everything else that
Sure,
you
he
don't
gets
necessarily
everything. No.
aren't doing or don't have or whatever. But
I guess the question would have been if I could have asked one, since he said he hasn't been running for most of the offseason. We've seen on his social media where he has been recently running. So my question would be, when was he able to start running again?
right, and I'm guessing, but watching that interview and even hearing him say that he's okay, I anticipate there's going to be times during training camp where Darnell Mooney is, taking a couple of days to let his body recover as he builds back into this. But moving forward from his health, he's asked about the chemistry in second year coming in. He calls it, quote, extremely important to have that chemistry. And then he goes full all in. We have to win, he said. There's no waiting and seeing how this thing grows, and it starts off week 1. We have to win.
Yeah, he said, I'm sick of losing at one point. So,
it's he said week 1, and I'll tell you this. I got a chance to talk to Travis Gibson recently. He said the exact same thing about tone setting. Like, it starts in Green Bay. Like, I think we're hearing it again. It's 2 players out of all the roster, but it seems like that's a focus right now, guys. It's not like let's wait a quarter into the season. We want to set that tone with Jordan Love coming to town against the Bears in week 1.
You think they were watching our After Dark where I planted my flag on this conversation?
Yeah, you go ahead. Lose your mind again
I don't
about
need
how
to lose my mind. It was
want
actually during the afternoon show
I
when I
want you
brought
to
this
lose
up.
your mind right now.
You want me to
and tell
lose my
how
mind? I'm not going to
important-
force it, but I can't overemphasize enough,
Week
and it
one's-
will continue to be brought up as we get closer to week 1.
Week
And
one's-
by the time we're a week away from it, I am going to be losing my mind on this show of how vitally and important it is for the Bears to beat the Packers week 1. It is at Soldier Field. They do not have a quarterback that's going to the Hall of Fame anymore. We cannot let Packers fans laugh at us one more time over. We have to plant our flag as the team. Peter Bukowski, the most hated podcaster
Here comes Bukowski.
on the opposite side of our fence, admitted we have the better quarterback heading into week 1.
Well, if
So
Bukowski
we have
said
to keep that the case. We cannot give them an inch, not an inch. If they lose that game, I don't even like phrasing it like that, but it's the truth. If they lose that game, it's catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
It's catastrophic.
Catastrophic. All right, how much of that was manufactured?
It was. I truly believe
I
that.
know,
I mean,
I
the
know.
second the schedule came out, that was the first thing that came to my head. Like, destroy them, it will be catastrophic.
199
see?
super
There we
chat from
go.
Mariano Tenuta. Darnell Mooney looking as jacked as my guy Braggs.
Thank you.
You
Thank
don't
you,
need to.
Tenuta.
Moreano, like it could have been.
Yeah,
it could've
don't-
been-
No.
But
Don't
hey,
insult.
Greg's doing a great job,
Nick's-
though. Greg, you're doing a great job.
Hey,
committing to
I
the
appreciate
plan,
you're working
so-
hard too. Mark's just, slacking
You're
over
not
there.
working hard. You just don't eat.
And I'm working out. Don't sell me short. Me
What-
and Nick are doing things over here. You're just, getting comfy.
What is your? Okay, we'll talk after the show. I don't buy that you're working out.
5 days a week. You
Doing
don't
what?
lose weight. You don't lose weight doing one or the other. You have to do both. You have to work out and you have to diet.
Swimming 5 feet in your pool?
That's swimming 5 feet. I have a 5-day-a-week workout routine I have to do. Don't even give me that.
Take a video.
The other thing with the Mooney interview before we get off of it.
Go back to that. Yep.
Before we get off of it, and I hate bringing it up because I know there will be people in the chat that get so mad. Oh, you're trying to find the negative. But the other thing that did stand out to me was where Mooney talked about getting to know his teammates. And he talked about how, initially he may or may not have liked some guys.
I got
the
quote.
Let's hear the quote.
Some guys I probably didn't like at first. And then I grew a relationship with them. I now know their character. I know why they act the way I know why they act that way. I love them for the way they are. Gee, I have no idea who he's talking about.
I mean, it's not the third string quarterback. I mean, everyone's going to get mad, but anybody with any kind of common sense, the first guess you're going to take to that is Chase Claypool. And it's interesting. I'm not saying it is. We don't know for certainty, but if we're going to play the, hypothetical game here, if it was Chase Claypool, it makes sense. Because if you peel back some of the onion on this, the layers, there was the one video during the offseason where Chase is going through Hallis Hall,
TikTok,
and at one point he's like, Darnell hates being on camera. I'm going to put my camera in my pocket. And then he's like, hey, Darnell. And Darnell's like, man, get this thing out of here. And you can hear in Darnell's voice that he's annoyed. And there were some people on Bears Twitter that took it further and made this big thing about it. I didn't. We didn't on the show. So I know everyone's going to freak out when I bring these things up. But it's just kind of the cookie crumbs. So it's interesting that Darnell kind of opened that up. Because if he is talking about Chase, sounds like there's a relationship that needs, some massaging.
It's a good call. I forgot about that moment in time. And then his further quote is, it's like having a brother. You're like, I do not like this guy. When you understand his story and understand the person. So
okay, so the other thing, too, because he's referencing last year, guys that are carrying over. So do you think he's more so talking about, because there was that moment where Chase was getting hot on the sidelines and Justin said after the game that that's not how we're going to be. So maybe that was where it rubbed him the wrong way. This new guy comes in and is trying to shake the cage a little bit.
Who knows specifically what he's talking about? To me, he's talking about all of it. I mean,
could be.
And now they're hanging out.
Yeah, now it seems like they're good and obviously getting to know the people. Like, again, he almost compared it to like a brotherly relationship. There are times where you just want to strangle your brother. There are other times you're your best friend. But it kind of seems like things are better.
The first time I was ever on a Zoom with Greg Braggs, I didn't even want to look at the guy. I was like, who is this joker that they hired alongside me, and why do I have to work with some guy named Braggs in the stands? And now I'm like,
he's telling the truth.
Yeah, I am.
And it was the first meeting. It was in this room right behind these cameras. And he looked at me the whole time like, who is this jackass?
That's how actually Bragg's interpretation of it was. And I probably
it was all over his face.
And I probably was doing that. Like it would add up. I didn't know Carman Vitale at that time either. And Carmen.
You didn't give her the "who is this jackass" face.
No, only yours jumped off the page the way it did. But and now we're just bestie buddies, buddy.
That's right.
It's funny, Mark. You mentioned that because when we heard that we were bringing you on.
Here it comes.
Like I remember you had invited me on to it was like a sports quiz show, and I was actually going against Gerald, who works for PHNX. You gave him the win over me, and so the immediate thing I thought of when Mark's coming here, like. That mother,
this rat
bastard. But it's all good. It's all good. I had some great explanations for that show and
Sport in Order.
Yep, Sport in Order.
I gave the one to Gerald over you.
You did, and that's so funny that we're all part of the same company now.
But I was a huge Moreano backer.
That is very true.
I was pushing you.
You did.
First time I ever interviewed Nick, I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I was just throwing fire on his Bears knowledge. I'm like, somebody should hire this Moreano, and then.
Well, here we go.
5 minutes later,
it is.
Him and he was CHGO in it.
But that's the point: is you get to know your teammates.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, Danny Parkin showed up in Kansas City, I was already working there. I instantly hated him. Thought he was the most arrogant dude on the planet. And now Parko's one of my good friends. And apparently, good old Darnell Mooney did not like, we're guessing, but didn't seem like he liked Chase Claypool at all. And now they're hanging out at different suites and working out, and we've got all sorts of buddies going on here. If you believe the interview. And here comes Kevin with the apparently airing of grievances point of the offseason. Hey, they teed it up. Kana, we're just following up and making it relatable because we all have been there, right? Everybody in the chat, we all know. It was also interesting to move off it for a second, blocking out the critics, and he almost had to like block out the comment as he was going through it. There was a time when he was trying to prove people wrong, is what he was saying. Like it clearly some of the conversation around him last year is what it seemed like to me got to Mooney, that he wasn't a true number one, that he wasn't big enough, that whatever, that he's not that guy. And now he's just like, I mean, Fields is
I don't buy it, though, where he says, I don't worry about it anymore.
I agree.
I know what I can do in this league. It's impossible to not, it's human nature to be affected by criticism. We all get it.
Right,
I get plenty of it from all you, loyal viewers of this show, and I appreciate the feedback, but it's impossible to not let it affect you in some emotional way, especially for somebody like Darnell in a contract year where this stuff does affect the narrative and his perception of who he is in the league. It affects him, and affects his money.
No, I mean, it makes sense. I think it's how you go about it. I think Mooney has his head on right. He knows how to take criticism. You see how he worked throughout the offseason. He talked about that, too, actually, on just the rehab process of all this. He said that there were obviously some ups and downs, and Eddie Jackson was also going through his rehab at that time, and he said that they talked a lot and were able to talk about life and things outside of football, so leaning on some of the veteran presence that is in Hallis Hall to get a better understanding of how to go about things when they're not going in your favor.
Yeah, and listen, some people will crawl under every rock to find what people are saying about them and then respond and try to make friends. Others will not necessarily do that, and they might delete their social media like Justin Fields has reportedly done, and Mooney's not, I don't think, a huge social media guy. Others of us are going to live on Reddit and look for everything that's being said at any moment.
Don't live on Reddit, but I'm aware of what people say about me.
Right.
Reddit is brutal, though. It's brutal. Don't go on there.
Yeah, well, some of us, sit here with the chat primed on their knee, ready to.
What?
Yeah, no, I understand.
I stay engaged with our viewers.
I'm just telling you that I agree with you that Mooney cares, but I also think he's disassociating himself as much as he can from the noise so he can just stay in his tunnel, is my point. And I think it's a good strategy for any professional athlete. If you're sitting there worried about
what's the old expression? If you're worried about what they're saying in the stands, you're going to end up in the stands or something to that effect.
Right. Mm-hmm. And, that part of it, I've always been like, if I was a player, I'd like to think I would just, I'm wearing this uniform. I'm getting paid. You paid to get in here.
No.
Who are you kidding? Mm-hmm. You would kill to be me.
Everybody
literally would. A lot of people would kill to be a professional athlete.
Like Kevin Durant, like Kevin Durant will go right into the teeth, and they don't hide from the fact that they read it all and they see it all.
And he would be better off if he didn't.
And there's others that act like they don't, but they do. There's very few. I'm not saying it's zero. There's very few that completely block all of that out. I mean, you'd have to be.
You would need to not have a cell phone, to be completely honest. Like if you
or a friend or a family member,
like your
or go to the grocery store,
like a cookout. Like, oh honey, did you see that so and so saying this about you? Like, no, but now I have to look this up.
They're not RoboCop.
Yeah, that's how you handle
James Thornton.
Great call by you right there.
These two have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, do you know James Thornton?
I mean, I watched the original RoboCop. Is that who played RoboCop?
No. You know who James Thornton is? James Thornton was a tight end on the Chicago Bears, and his nickname was RoboCop. And
Come on.
It's for all those
my
of us.
bad.
Bears fans.
My bad.
You're on
Bears
the show?
fans.
Sorry, when was this from?
My bad.
How long ago was
James
this?
Thornton.
90s?
Is he from the black and
80s,
white
late
era?
He was after Emery Moorhead for sure. Although they might have played together. Hold on.
We're going to get it right here from the good old Law on the draw.
Yep.
James Thornton Bears.
88 Law, I want to say.
Sounds like a bum.
Played 96 games in the NFL. 88, 89, 90 through 95.
Yep.
All
I
right.
was just born in 94.
Started 70 games.
70.
Hey, that's
Averaged
awesome.
16.4 yards a catch in 1991. Did RoboCop.
A fourth-round draft pick.
All right.
Pick
All right. The
105.
Waddle era.
I mean,
Sorry,
that's
James
a,
Thornton.
that's
I
a that's a
apologize.
good job there. By the way, 1991. The Bears went 11-5, coached by the great Mike Ditka. Damn it. And who was the quarterback?
James Thornton
Jim Harbaugh was
on
firing
the
the
Bears
Shame.
the last time the Lions won a division title.
Quick trivia question. You didn't see. Neither of you saw him play. We're fish. Hey, Lawrence.
Trivia.
Kevin. Better player. Oh, we're pulling up RoboCop. Better running back, Neil Anderson or Matt Forte?
I don't know the answer to that. I've disparaged Thornton, or I'm sorry, I've disparaged Forte on the show, and I don't want to do that again.
I mean,
You don't
Kevin,
like Matt Forte?
Anderson or Forte?
Eh.
Would you rather have Neil Anderson? Would you rather have Neil Anderson or
Caden.
Matt Forte?
He's working. He's not on.
Going with Forte. That's your guy.
That's
You're
my
a
guy.
Forte guy. I mean,
That's our guy.
Neil Anderson was
Our
an
guy.
unbelievable football player. I just want to put that out there. He was the
Forte,
running back
Forte,
after
Forte.
Peyton. He was
He's definitely
freaking
in the
awesome.
top 4.
I loved Neil.
Sayers, Peyton, Sayers, Forte, and Neil Anderson. Those are the 4, right? Thomas Jones.
Neil Anderson used to say, best thing you could do is, you gotta give the ball to Neil Anderson. Just give the ball to Neil Anderson. Neil Anderson believes you should give the ball to Neil Anderson.
I like it. That's
And
awesome.
I was like, I agree with you, Neil Anderson. Give the ball to Neil Anderson. Let's go. It's my guy,
That's
Neil
awesome.
Anderson.
Best thing you can do.
All right. Well, that will wrap up our Darnell Mooney. Moon, bottom line, as we wrap it up, great guy. We're rooting for you. Hope you're healthy. Don't push it. If you need to take time off in training camp, even preseason games, let's just get you ready for week 1. This seems like a very significant injury. So working your way back, I still, from a Bears podcaster / fan, whatever perspective, long term is way more critical than the short term always, because we're trying to play the long game here and have you healthy for 10 years. So get yourself right. And you should also, Moon, get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. It is spring and baseball season. Happy All-Star break. Aloha shirts, straw hats, polo bags, everything you need for a game. Our set decorations, thank you so much, Foco, are there right for you. Look at our cute Justin Fields thing. That's amazing. Check out FOCO.com, or you can click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use that promo code CHGO. You get yourself 10% off.
Go check out FOCO, you guys, and then you have to check out Shady Rays. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn here at CHGO. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And what's awesome is if you lose or even break your pair, even on day 1, they also send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays going to give you the best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Shady Rays. All right, let's set some records here. Bears fans. Bears. This is a Braggs created conversation, so all credit goes to Greg Braggs if this goes well, or if it doesn't, it's on his shoulders. The most passing yards in the history of the Chicago Bears. Don't look, chat. Who can get it? Who can get it first? We'll shout you out. most passing yards in the history of the Chicago Bears. Hint. Well,
It happened a year after I was
let's
born.
see if the chat's got it. Gary's going to have it. There's no question.
yeah,
they're looking it up. I can feel
Mubs, you're wrong.
Yeah.
What a loser.
that is
That ain't
someone
it,
in our
Mubs.
chat.
It ain't 6. We don't.
There it is. There it
Gotcha,
is, there it
Mubs.
is. Oh,
Gary got it. What'd I tell you?
Yes.
Gary's the
Matt
first.
Nagy
Oh,
also
no,
got
Matt
it, too.
Nagy got it.
Everybody
We
will
don't-
color. It is not. It's not him. It is Eric Kramer. 3,838 yards. What year was that, Greg?
The greatest year of all time.
Okay, so you don't remember the actual year. Doesn't matter.
1996.
1996. Okay.
1996 is the greatest year of all
95.
time.
95.
95?
Says on the screen.
95.
It says it on the screen. I can't read it. My bad.
You're
95 was a
born.
great year too, but 96 was better.
It doesn't matter.
Just
The
in life,
The,
I mean.
the bottom line is that the Bears have never thrown for 4,000 yards. I said I would shave my head if Justin Fields goes for 4,000 this year. Does anybody think that Justin Fields on the show is going to make the leap from 2,200 just over yards last season to add 1,600, nearly double from what he did last year, 75% more in his third year in the league with Darnell Mooney and a Cole Kmet coming into his own even more and a health and I said Darnell Mooney. I meant to say DJ Moore and a healthy Darnell Mooney and a somehow, some way found his way Chase Claypool and maybe some other cute stories that emerge along the way, like a career year for Dante Pettis. Does anybody think he can cross 38?
Look, this is the one record. I was looking at all the records that we had in our rundown, and this is the one I wanted to talk about. Because, like you just mentioned, it's a steep hill for Justin Fields to get there. A lot needs to go right. He would need to throw for at least 226 yards per game if he plays all 17 games. That's a big if.
But that's a good note, though, by the way, just something to think about. Like, this was in a 16-game season. We have an extra game.
Yeah. And I was looking, like, how many quarterbacks did this even, like, last season? Only 9. Only 9 quarterbacks threw for over 3,838 yards. 2021, 11 quarterbacks did it. So it's not, like, the easiest number to get to. But, I was looking at Fields' stats. How many times has he even thrown for 226?
How many
Playing
times?
in 27 games? He's done it 3 times. 3 times. But here's where I'm going to push back a little bit. Rookie year, Matt Nagy in that offense. Okay, that you just throw that away. Last year was his first year with Luke Getsy with no weapons. This year, it's almost.
And it took Luke how many weeks to figure out how they wanted to run an offense?
October. It took him until October, a month
Against
in
the
November.
Patriots.
So it's almost like unfair to look at the old stats to project what he could do with this new offense with a true number 1 wide receiver. Still is a very steep goal to reach, but I hope that he can surpass Eric
Is
Kramer.
he capable of 4,000 yards in his career one day? Yes. This year, no.
I mean, when you
A lot needs to go right.
When you break down the numbers, though, of what he just said, 226 a game.
Right.
It's not
well, and what's
not
funny
that
is
much.
it's not that much. And the other thing is, what I always find funny is we'll all say no to this, and most of the people that are logical will say no to it. But when you guys were talking earlier this offseason about what we think each individual wide receiver, tight end, what their numbers are going to be, unless you're shortchanging guys,
True.
it starts to add up. It starts to get somewhat close. I don't know if we want to go through that whole exercise again, but if you're giving DJ Moore 1,000 yards because he's going to be locked in on his guy.
All right, 1,000. I'm
You
going
know what I
to
mean?
start adding this up. 1,000.
1,000,
DJ Moore.
sure.
Darnell Mooney.
What do we put in Darnell?
First of all, DJ Moore should be at 1,200.
Okay, let's do that.
1,200
Let's
for,
do that. 1,200.
And I think it's fair.
Yeah,
It's what he's
We'll
been
get
for-
into what the record is for receiving here in a little bit, but
I think it should be-
1,200 is fair.
Okay.
DJ Moore.
It should be more than that, but keep going. Yep.
Darnell Mooney. Where are we putting Darnell at? Can we
800.
800.
I was gonna say
I was
750.
going to say that's the realistic.
We're at 2,000 yards, okay, between
just
two guys.
Two guys.
Right.
Okay, let's go to
Chase Claypool.
Chase, he's
500.
See,
wanna
I'm
go
more
low
like,
on the 5 or maybe the top.
700.
700. I'm okay with
5
that.
is low.
Let's go 6. Me in the
5
middle
is
there.
low.
You want to be in the
6.
middle?
Let's
Cole
do 6.
Kmet had
Yeah, he had
more.
like 530
Yeah.
something. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's say 6.
Okay.
2,600. Okay. We're going to go to
Cole
Komet.
Kmet.
Is he
500 again?
You want to put another 5?
I
Or
think-
let's just say, or do you want?
hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. What did Komet do last year?
530 or
Yeah.
550, somewhere around there.
My buddy
Six-
lost a bet on this.
All
I know it
right.
was
So
over
so let's
500.
do.
Chat, where's Cole Kmet at? We're
I
adding
got
this
it.
up live on the show. What do you think he's going to get this season? But
Robert Tunyon, 300.
Hold on.
let's see. Let's see. We're
I
putting
mean, there's
a pause
some
on
that
this.
think that Tunyon will get more receiving yards than Cole. So I mean, at some point,
I'm
you know,
not
it's
one of
just
those people. Cole Kmet last year. Well, listen, last 2 years, 612, 544. Why don't we? 600 is nothing.
Okay, let's put another 6.
All right.
I don't know. With Tunyon on the
600
field
is nothing,
more, I feel
and
like
you gave
I see like
Claypool
500.
500.
Right.
But he also played a game with Trevor Siemian, like
I'm-
just Fields. I don't know. So
I'm
we're putting Cole at 6.
Yeah.
3,200.
Yeah. All right. And then Robert Tunyon,
300.
the lowest in his last 2 years, he had 204 and 470. So let's just
say right in the middle,
let's
300.
We'll give him three. We'll even say 350.
350. Guys, okay, we're at 3,550. We
Right,
still
now-
have
And we haven't dumped anything
We haven't
down to the
dumped
running
anything-
backs.
the running backs get like
Tyler Scott hasn't gotten a ball.
Dante, whoever
Dante
ends
Pettis,
up making
Bayless Jones hasn't gotten a ball.
So when you add up the numbers hypothetically on the
That's
spot,
what's funny about it.
So will he do it?
What about what Mub says? Got to take away 2 games for Fields getting hurt.
Well, but now you have PJ Walker as the backup.
well,
Oh,
no,
but
no,
we're
for
I'm sorry,
Fields,
we're talking
yeah.
about. Yeah, I'm sorry, we're talking about.
But that's the
we're not
thing,
in total
yeah.
yards. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. Like how healthy will Justin Fields be able to play a full season? There's a lot that goes into it. The style of play.
And your boy Boy's
It's attainable, but will he get it? No. It's probably going to be somewhere around between 32 and 3,500 yards passing.
That could still be good
because
with
he
his running,
also
too.
Justin is also going to run the ball like he does.
Yes,
He's going to have a minimum of 800 rushing
Right,
yards.
but
in
so
my
like
opinion.
last year, his comfort level was to take out of there and run. This year, his comfort zone hopefully will be where you at, DJ? Bang, bang, bang. Like that's going to happen a lot. So, I mean, if you want to be optimistic, and why the hell not? On July the 10th, it's
I mean, even
two-
if you went
226.
low on all those numbers, you're still getting to 3,000.
Yeah, you're still getting to 3,000.
If you went low on every player we just ran through, you're still going to find your way to 3,000.
3,000 is like you're happy you got a C- and made it through geometry,
Yeah.
which right here, thank you so much. But we want better than that, Mr. Goldberg.
If it's 3,000, I don't want to put him at 1,000 rushing again, but he may be flirting around there with the way he runs and the way obviously using these weapons. It's definitely.
Listen,
it's
they're way more set up. Plus the fact
True.
you know in the next couple of days they're going to sign DeAndre Hopkins.
All right,
and that's
let's
gonna
get to
add
some
on.
of these other ones because
Time's
they're
running.
all going to intertwine as
Go
far
ahead.
as this
So
conversation.
hold
'cause
on.
They're all offensive numbers.
Trivia back to the Bears quarterback. The most touchdowns thrown by a quarterback in Bears history. Actually, I'd love you to do the top 2, chat. Top 2. Most quarterback touchdowns thrown in a season. What's the most that in the history of the
Let's
NFL?
go, Mubs.
55.
Better pick it up.
Is 55 the most in the history of the NFL? Manning.
No, I think we passed 60
Is
now,
it over
haven't
60
we?
now? Whatever.
Mahomes
The Bears'
might
most
have.
is
I thought Mahomes
29,
did it.
which is pathetic. And Shy Northside has it. It's Kramer. Nagy's on his game today, as he is always. 29 for Kramer and 28 for Sid Luckman in 1940.
cover.
That's so freaking sad.
Yeah, looking at these records, honestly, it was just getting a little depressing. Some of these records that are still here, it's nuts, you guys. But
So all right, you want to do it? You want to do touchdown catches to get to 30? How many for Mooney? 6? I mean, how many for
Let's start with DJ Moore.
how many for Moore?
Well, the record for a Bears wide receiver with touchdowns in a season, I think, is 14 by Brandon Marshall. Most receiving touchdowns.
looks like 13. Dick Gordon.
I think Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm sorry. And I did this. Dick Gordon and Ken Kavanaugh. Ken Kavanaugh, 1947,
Oh, okay, yeah.
with 13. That's the most ever.
I don't see DJ Moore getting 13.
I mean,
I
please, like, just
I'm going to say 8.
Just please.
I'm going to say 8 for DJ Moore.
listen, Justin. It's Carm. Please break every single Bears passing record in your career with the Bears. The bar is set super low. You're going to leap over it. You're going to shatter them. And we're all going to be sitting here and just talking
If
about
we
how
could ever get a competent quarterback or
They
an
would-
offense, they would shatter all single season and career records. It would not take them long. Because when I was going through these numbers on who holds these records, a lot of them are from the 2013 Bears, who we all remember. For us as Bears fans, is the one year where our offense acted like the rest of the league, where we had
Modern.
Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey,
Martellus
Bennett,
Forte.
Matt Forte, and Jay Cutler, and a decent O-line.
What do you think the most touchdown passes that Ryan Tannehill's ever thrown in a season is?
37.
32.
Nick wins.
Why did I know that? I don't know.
What is
Ryan Tannehill, 33 touchdown passes in 2020. Ryan Tannehill, interestingly, because of the era that he's playing in, is 41st all-time in passing yards in the history of the NFL. Isn't that kind of like
yeah, like you wouldn't
surprising?
think Ryan Tannehill. I mean, top 50. Good for him.
I
He's
mean,
a
that-
wide receiver at one point.
I find that kind of amazing. Okay,
29
So-
passing touchdowns.
so more likely 3,800 yards, 4,000 yards, call it, or 30 touchdown passes.
It's the 30 touchdowns.
You think so?
Well, and because
I don't.
I don't know. I'd almost go passing, even though that one's like hard to get. Like that's a tough one.
I'd go passing.
Because they're gonna run the ball too. Like Fields gonna run the ball, and they're gonna run it with Foreman and Herbert.
when they get in the red zone, they're going to stack the box and force Fields to throw.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's two reasons for this. I mean, a lot of this when it comes to the offensive records, there's reasons to think that these numbers could be high, even though we're going full meatball session here today, which I love. It's the offense is going to be better. As I mentioned, the 1 year they were good, named all those good players. I mean, this is the first year where you could compare talent-wise. 2018, they had a decent offensive year. Mitch Trubisky threw 5 touchdowns in one game.
I was
It was
there.
the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It was new too. Like defenses
It was
didn't know
crazy.
exactly what was going on.
This is the craziest game I've ever been to. People were like holding their heads like they could not believe what they were seeing. But Mitch obviously had his limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Justin's ability is a lot more than what Mitch is, in my opinion. Now, you talk about 2013, all the weapons. This team has similar weapons. Darnell Mooney is your third or second wide receiver. Chase Claypool, whichever interchangeable, whoever your second and third is. We've never had a trio of wide receivers because we're one of only, I think, 4 teams in the NFL that have 3 wide receivers that have had 1,000 or more yards in a season. We're one of only 4 teams with players that can say that.
Speak that optimism into existence, brother. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just telling you the facts. That's what these guys have done in the league. We can project what Tyler Scott is going to do, but not know. We can project if Velus Jones is going to get better, but not know. These 3 guys have shown they can do this in this league.
Well, yeah, and your record stuff, the most yards the Bears have ever had in one season was 6,109, and that was in 2013. So that included a 1,420-yard season from Alshon Jeffrey catching the football. It included 1,295 yards catching the football from Brandon Marshall. It included 1,339 yards on the ground from Matt Forte.
Gosh. They were going off.
But not a whole lot more on the ground. I mean, literally nothing. Michael Bush had 197 yards.
Michael Bush.
Yep. And everything else came from quarterbacks. Josh McCown, my guy, had 69.
Nice.
L. Jeffrey had 105. But regardless, that was that. Then and Jay, and that team went 8-8. Team sucked.
And let me correct myself because I know the chat's going to be all over my ass.
Uh-oh.
And this was a stat I found in January, so forgive me. The Bears are one of 4 teams in the NFL with 3 wide receivers to have had 850-plus yards in a single season in their career. Not 1,000, but DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney both have had 1,000 it's Chase Claypool that's fallen short.
Yeah.
So just want to get that corrected.
Yep.
More likely that Justin throws for 30 or that he breaks the NFL quarterback rushing for touchdown yards, which is 15 from Jalen Hurts. Throws for 30.
It's 14. It's that was incorrect. It's Cam Newton.
14.
Yeah. Hurts. Those are includes playoffs with Hurts.
Oh, I see.
Someone messed the stat up there.
That's okay. So, 14, regardless. Cam Newton, 14. He throws for 30 or he rushes for 14. If you had to bet on that, what would you take?
Jalen Hurts last year had 15 if you include the playoffs.
That's what he just said, yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not listening. I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing on this show,
Yeah.
but I'm not. So,
Yeah, what's your bet on that? 30 or 15?
I hope the 30 because
Damn
I
right
hope
you-
that they've learned from last year's, playing with fire when it comes to, letting Justin do everything. Now, at the same time, if you watch how Jalen Hurts got his touchdowns last year, they'd get in the red zone and come up with
QB
some
sneak,
very
or-
creative ways to easily get him into the end zone. It wasn't like if you run back all of 14 touchdowns Jalen Hurts had, it wasn't like they were putting his season on the line,
yeah.
his body on the line.
Well, and look, he does not throw well in tight windows yet. He is super creative with his legs. Inside the 5-yard line with him and Foreman and Herbert and maybe even, let's dream it big, Valus on the move, along with, big-bodied receiver, Claypool spread out wide, Mooney's cut through. Like, there is a lot of opportunity for Justin to absolutely eat down there and get in the end zone a ton if they want to do
I
it
agree
that way.
because you've also got, and this was something I don't think I was on the show, but when you were saying no more jet sweeps for Valus Jones, and I honestly couldn't disagree more. Not trying to put you on the spot here, Carm, but that's the one thing he's good at. We know for sure on offense he's good at, and even if you don't give him the ball, a guy like Valus Jones and even Chase Claypool to an extent, when you motion them in the backfield,
Eye candy for the defense, man.
it's got everyone kind of leveraging one way, and then Justin can scamper off the other way and keep it and walk into the end zone. We saw that a couple times last year when they used Valus as a decoy. So, that's the other way you're going to get him into the end zone.
By the way, I'm not on blast there. Whatever works. They want to use Valus that way, and it works great. I'll sit here and drink a whole lot of Goose Island and enjoy it. CHGO, by the way, is supported by the Goose Island Beer Company. Chicago's beer since 1988, the year that Jordan won MVP. Thank you very much. Get a mic reference in there.
Great year.
The beer roster's got the Goose IPA, the Tropical Beer Hug, which is a dry-hopped Imperial IPA with a 9.9% alcohol that's dangerously easy to drink. Get after it. 312 Wheat, the Full Pocket Pills, all of it. Grab an ultra fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can head over by CHGO from their tap room, Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
Boom, boom.
So Nick, what? I want to talk to you guys about energy.
Great.
Okay.
The
Love
chat
it.
has
do.
been so energetic today. The reason I want to talk to you about energy is because the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve, helping manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future.
That is exactly right there, Greg. ComEd offers a wide variety of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across the territory. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, like for HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes.
How does that work, second reader?
That's me. Well, here's how it works. An authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually. It lasts approximately 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a report detailing energy efficiency projects that they can start working on immediately. Each recommendation will include estimated energy savings, cost savings, project costs, potential incentives, and simple payback. And if you own a business, don't wait. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment, go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Did you say ComEd.com/poweringbiz?
You know I did, Greg. Go schedule it today. And for everybody watching, you know that CHGO Bears offseason coverage is brought to you by the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. You can learn more at ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
All right, a couple super chats coming in here from our guy Chris Geitron, $5. Get swept in the NFC North. Molly whopped. Thank you. Molly whopped. I thought he spelled it wrong, and then he didn't, and I just read it wrong. Molly whopped by KC and Carolina. 9-8 record. Justin has 4,200 total yards, 35 total touchdowns. How are we feeling?
Why would we get mollywopped by Carolina?
That's quite an interesting.
I mean, the Kansas City thing I get, but why would we get mollywopped?
Well,
I'm so confused.
Chris, we got
swept in the NFC North.
Yeah, so that basically you're 0-6 there. You lose to KC and Carolina, but win your other 9 games. That's a crazy
the most
hypothetical.
negative, positive super chat we've ever had in our lives. Swept in the NFC North, mollywopped by Carolina.
Answer his question.
How are we feeling? Confused.
Confused is not a feeling.
It's not?
Sad, hurt, angry,
I think
joy.
Wait, confused isn't a feeling?
No, it is not. You're confused. That is not a feeling. There are
State of
5
being.
feelings.
Flustered?
Sad. That's not a feeling
Is
either.
that a feeling?
No, 5 feelings.
There's only 5
Joy.
feelings. I have way more than 5
You would not.
feelings.
You would be. Would you be hurt if that happened? Would you be angry? These are feelings. Would you be sad?
a feeling? Anyone?
What do you got?
Simpsons.
Millhouse is down. Yeah.
I just can't accept that confused isn't a feeling. There's only 5 feelings. I can't get off of this. I mean,
What's confusing about that? That confused is not a feeling. You're confused. That would mean that you're hurt. That means that you're angry. That might mean that you're sad. Pick one of. What is the confusion?
I'm hurt?
You're hurt, so you'd be hurt by that. Would you
Yeah,
be-
because we can't get swept in the NFC North. That means we lost to Green Bay, which we cannot do.
You'd be hurt and angry.
There are 27 categories of emotion.
That's the categories of emotion, not
This is
feelings.
just like the gum thing, where you guys thought the gum was bad for
This
me,
is
and then
nothing like the gum
science
thing.
and medicine said otherwise.
Literally nothing like the gum thing. Couldn't be less like the gum thing. The gum thing was a wives' tale. There are 5 feelings: joy, sadness, hurt, anger. I
See,
keep on forgetting
according,
the
I don't
Rob,
believe
according to
anything
new
you
science, there are
said.
27 feelings.
Wait,
27.
okay.
I think he's just reading.
Chris,
what
if
you
that
said.
happened, I would be thrilled. I would feel joy that Justin crossed 4,000 yards. That's how I would feel.
You would know Justin's your guy, I think. Even
Yeah.
if you get mollywopped by KC, Carolina, get swept by the NFC North, I think you would know that Justin's your guy. You can pay him and get some more talent around him with the 2 first-round draft picks you have in 2024 and hopefully be in a good place going forward.
Thank you. All right, next one.
We tried.
Monsi, I love this one. $4.99. If Justin goes for 4,000, Carm has to go buy the pitch black just for men and dye his hair or go bald.
Well, he's already agreed to shave his head, but we can dye his hair first and then shave his head just for kicks.
I mean, Monsi, look at
He
how
throws for 4,000 yards. We can do whatever we want.
look at how good the QB slide comes across with my beautiful.
Well, why don't you show it? Your arm's like leaning over it. I mean,
Silver
flexing
Fox.
going on today.
I mean, Silver Fox. You don't want to mess with this thing. Look at this thing. It's straight adorable.
I mean,
Okay, I mean, actually, honestly, I would way rather dye my hair black than shave it if you're giving me that option. So, Monsi, I'm in.
somebody brought up in the chat, for the Bears to surpass 30 touchdowns on the season, an average of 2 touchdowns a game, 2 passing touchdowns a game.
Less, 1.7.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Get you 34 was what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Which
what do
passes Tannehill.
Not that crazy.
So, what are we saying? Were you going to throw out some hair thing for me?
No,
or
there's no hair thing.
You just wanted. To be technical, it's 1.76 touchdown passes per game. So
That's what's just so funny. Like when we talk about, they could break records, and people are like, you guys are being ridiculous. The records the Bears have offensively are not any team's record. Like they're so attainable by any other team's measure of standard, except for here in Chicago, where we just cannot even, fathom what a normal offense, a normal functioning offense in this day and age NFL looks like.
There'd be 7 touchdowns in 4 games if we're just doing a little bit of math here. Willie Beeman, $5. Cutler had 3,812 yards in 2014. If he doesn't get hurt easily, passes 4,000 passing yards. And bold prediction is Tunyon has more touchdown catches than Kmet. That's true. And one thing I will never go at Jay Cutler for, dude played. He was tough. Don't give me that Packers BS with the knee. Guy literally couldn't plant and throw. We'll never say that Jay wasn't tough. I'll say a lot of other things about Jay, but not that.
Tough SOB.
So Braggs had a great topic that he wanted to talk about, which is...
Hey, hold on, I'm in our super chat.
one more?
Do that. Let's just save that for another day.
You want to save that?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's save it for...
Yeah, we should save
We got a few more days.
Here, hit up
Okay.
Johnny
We can save
Rampage.
it.
Rampage, $4.99. What's up, Johnny? Carmen Braggs need to box for charity.
We
Tension
talked
is
to
too
Pearl
high.
Gonzalez about this.
Can't have this bad energy going into camp. Figure it out, boys. Rampage. Figure it out.
We're fine.
Rampage. We're
He
good.
started it.
That's why I'm in the middle.
I sat at lunch with this guy the other day and watched him ruin the world by just wasting plastic cups and drinking.
And I took his salad.
And he stole my salad. Like I ordered a salad because he was paying, and a flatbread. So you get the salad comes out first, and then his salad and the flatbread are going to come together. The salad comes, Braggs just grabs it and literally touches every tomato on the plate with his hands. I
gets
don't
up
want
in
these
there.
tomatoes. I'm like, that's my salad, but now it'll be your salad because you have accosted the tomatoes or upset at you.
I don't need no tomatoes. But no, we're good.
You should have told
But
them.
I am excited for the season to start. It's going to be a lot of fun. And me and Carm are good. He's just wrong about a lot of things. So some of the records, I want to finish with the records.
Okay,
we got all
Greg.
these other records.
Okay,
we don't have
Greg.
to comb, fine tooth comb
I got
all of them.
okay. I was
But
getting
we'll just
bored.
finish strong on the records.
Go ahead, finish strong with
So,
the records. Your show.
Obviously, that's right. I'm the captain.
The captain now.
Justin Fields obviously almost broke, just short of Lamar Jackson's 1,206 rushing yards.
Uh-huh.
We all are kind of at this point as Bears fans and us here on the show. I don't know exactly where you guys stand, but I'm sure you do, that we don't even want him to come near this record.
Not anymore.
But I guess my thought on this was, as much as I don't want Luke Getsy to mess with this and push this, Justin Fields is going to get close to 1,000 rushing yards again, just because of who he is. He breaks off 60-yard runs in his sleep half the time. So I'm not rooting for it. How many rushing yards do you think he's going to average a game? I think it's at least 60.
60, 70.
Because he breaks off a 30 or 40-yard run right away every game.
That would give him 1,020 yards on the season.
Exactly. And so the other point about it was they weren't running him for the first month and a half of last season. It wasn't until they changed the offense to cater to what he was doing best, where they're doing all these different things. And Justin was like, I honestly felt like Justin Fields unlocked something that I don't even know if he knew he was capable of. Because in his rookie season with Matt Nagy, it wasn't like he was anywhere close to 1,000 yards or running all over the place. Then last year, we're seeing these unbelievable runs week after week against the Dolphins and Lions. I think he is going to come close to 1,000, if not surpass it again, if he were to stay healthy, which is a huge if in his position. He's going to come close to this again, as much as I don't want him to.
What's also impressive about what he did last season is that during that stretch, defenses knew they had to stop Justin Fields on the ground, and they just simply couldn't. They just could not do it. After that New England game, then you get Detroit and Miami. You don't think those defenses knew that they had to stop Fields on the ground? Of course they did, and yet he's still able to do what he did during that span. So I think if Luke Getsy's smart, Justin Fields should run the ball still. It should be a part of the offense. You just got to be strategic with it. But like you said, Greg, he has that capability.
They
that
accumulate
speed.
pretty fast.
They do. They definitely do. So he may come close, but hopefully the passing numbers are also going up as well.
Well, let's also remind ourselves, you have a brand new right tackle in Darnell Mooney. You have
You keep calling
Jesus,
everyone
I am
Darnell
really
Mooney.
messed up. I mean, not even close.
This is like the third person you've called Darnell Mooney.
Loves Darnell Mooney.
I mean, Mooney, right? What's the difference? Brand new right tackle, brand new right guard, brand new center, brand new left guard. The only guy on that line that played the same position last year is Braxton Jones. My point is that if they don't come together quick, you're going to be running a lot.
True.
Right, and you're learning chemistry with your wide receivers as well.
So,
You
right.
know?
Now, if they do come together, he won't touch 60 yards a game because his
Absolutely will. He gets 40 literally blindfolded. One run, 40 yards, bam. Every time. That's why hammering the over on him with whatever they put out for his rushing yards a game.
It was
He did it every week. It wasn't even close. It wasn't until he was hurt that you had to be skeptical of if he was going to hit that.
I'm just telling you that if they get to where they want to get to, it's going to look a whole lot different.
Right, but that probably realistically isn't going to happen this year.
Correct.
They're going to have to do what they got to do again.
I'm with you. However, at some point, and hopefully it'll be this year, but probably not, he will be able to sit back comfortably in the pocket like he did in college when nobody thought he was a running quarterback, and he's going to be slinging that thing all over the place.
That'd be
That's
good.
what they want.
And that's on Luke Getsy, because everybody says this is all on Justin Fields to take that next step. It's just as much on Luke Getsy. Because if I were to ask any of you or anybody in the chat, if Justin Fields was on the San Francisco 49ers last year, how would he have done? He would have put unbelievable numbers up and probably won MVP. Do you disagree? If he was on the 49ers last year.
That he would have won the MVP?
Yeah.
That's a bold statement. But hey,
It's not out of the realm of realistic possibility. And that's because of the way they scheme that offense. And that's what Luke Getsy needs to figure out.
I mean,
how to scheme to give Justin Fields easy throws and utilize what he does great. Don't give me that
I'm
look.
giving you that look because he still needs to process the field faster to be what you're calling an MVP quarterback. That's the look.
I understand,
and it's a fair
but
look.
For a 49ers type offense, they eliminate some of that where they scheme.
Sure, could have you handed off to Debo and done little quick hitters with him?
Well, they do these rollouts where
it.
guys are flooding to one side and you have the 1-2-3 option,
Is the ceiling for Justin Fields an MVP in the league? Is that how high he can get to? Is that too high? I think that's fair, that one day he could be an MVP. But let's just keep it in perspective here. Somewhat. He's thrown for over 226 yards 3 times in his career, as Nick underlined. He hasn't thrown for 2,500 yards in a season. All right? Let's just – he was unbelievable, historic last year on the ground. Mm-hmm. And we all know that he could throw the football. And we all know that he was in a horrible situation the last 2 years. And that and we're finally getting to a point where he's hopefully getting more, comfortable with who he is in the NFL. But it's just, come on, huge leap needs to be made.
Final stat I just want to shout out quickly.
One more stat.
The Bears team rushing yard record was broken last year with 2,975. And I really feel like we didn't touch on that because it was the last week of the season. They actually broke it on the Velus Jones jet sweep. And I think it kind of got swept under the rug because of the number 1 pick.
Sweep. Yep.
Yeah, the sweep. You like that pun?
I did. Yep.
That was just
Good
totally
job.
unintentional. That's just what I do. And, I don't feel like we talked about that at all, really, or enough. And they broke the 1984 record with Walter Payton.
Probably because they won 3 games.
Okay, but it was because of the number 1 pick. That was why we didn't talk about that.
Well, it's also a hard team to celebrate when they won 3
Not
games.
celebrating anything. It was just interesting that they broke the record. So I think
you
that's
want to
interesting.
celebrate.
2,975 rushing total yards for a team as a team last year.
Admit it.
Can they get 3,000 yards?
You want to feel joy by that record, but instead you feel anger because it wasn't celebrated.
I don't. I just think it's notable. You moron.
Let's get
Great
to
ending of the show. Super chat. $5 from Keith. What's up, Keith Franklin? Problem with Carm going on with the Bears have 4 O-line, either new or new positions he ignored. They did the same last year with far worse talent. Hey, Keith, I hope you're right, brother. Listen, Darnell Wright should be
talent should be better.
The only thing I'm really worried about with the line is can Tevin stay healthy and can Cody slide back over and
snap the ball
correctly. So, fair point, Keith. They certainly have more talent on that line right now. You're absolutely correct. Who else we got here? Brendan Henderson, $5. Thank you, Brendan. Never mind the fact that basically every 49ers quarterback died last season. Laughed my ass off. Excellent point.
Good point.
Well, Purdy had a borderline MVP season for the Mr. Irrelevant.
See? There you go.
There you go.
You make
there
fun
you,
of me
there.
about
And
giving
he's
me
going to win an
looks about-
ESPY on Wednesday, possibly.
Chubb's coming in here.
Yep.
Chubba Lubble.
Willie, real quick.
Let's do Willie
let's
first.
do Willie
and we'll
first.
end with Chubbs.
Willie Beeman jumping 28 feet.
My name is Willie.
Jordan.
Willie Beeman. Make the ladies.
Okay.
He don't even know what we're referencing.
Who was the long jumper that Jordan talks about in
Bob Beeman.
Bob Beeman. Bob Beeman jumping 28 feet. It's one of the great moments in Michael Jordan video time. Willie, thank you for the chat. Justin had the 4th highest QBR week, 7 through 18. He's okay. I like you underlining that, Willie. That's great. Hopefully we'll do it all season long.
That's when Getsy curtailed the offense.
Mm-hmm.
John Davis, $5. Frankly, I'm just excited to see Mooney with Moore taking some attention off of him. Yes, I agree, John. That's going to hopefully be a high point.
Exactly. Could not agree more.
And then my guy Chubbs ends our show here with, who cares about stats? All that matters is winning. Well, guess what, Chubbs? Good stats equal more wins. Breaking news. The more touchdowns you score, the more games you win. So stats are important. If you don't get any stats and your quarterback has a 1.3 quarterback rating, which is a stat, you suck and you don't win games.
Is that a Bragg's break-in? Could have been a Bragg's break-in. Not
He's
really.
already here,
He's
though.
been here the whole
it's
show.
true.
Do you have any more stats you want to get out there?
Nope,
I
think that's it of all the ones we combed over here.
Will you be doing a spaces on the stats
No,
that we
I
did
haven't
get to?
been doing spaces as much lately. I don't know. I think there's like a glitch with the spaces, and I think you can only be on recorded spaces. So it's too dangerous to be on spaces if they're recorded. If they're not recorded, I'll go on there and talk all day. But
Okay, that's
recorded
enough.
spaces.
We didn't need
I'm
a
not
whole
trying to go on there.
dissertation on your spaces. That's my fault. All right. Thank you for watching. We're back tomorrow. Corey Wooten will be on the show. We'll touch on what's going on over at Northwestern. More stuff coming out today that Wood can definitely speak on. So we will touch on that tomorrow, along with a ton of Bears talk, as per always, because this is the CHGO Bears Show. Nick, it was great to be with you today.
It was great to be with you, Mike.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it was
too.
great. It was great to be with
Fun time.
you, Nick.
You
It was
too,
fun.
Gregory, my buddy, my hero. Cross your legs. It's really an aggressive situation that you're doing over there. Thank you very much. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. And tell a friend about CHGO Bears. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we will see you tomorrow.